reception. The captain will very shortly formally address you. You will have a chance to meet the senior management team, but in the meantime, please enjoy your complimentary drinks and the fabulous sounds of Joe Q.
My goodness, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. And of course, nice to finally and formally catch up with you all. And we certainly thought we'd have a full house at the first party, and that is certainly the case. So very good evening to all of you. I have to say, as I came into the terminal yesterday, fantastic to see so many of you in your red, white and blue outfits. Who had red, white and blue on yesterday? Yes, indeed, yes, fantastic to see you all. Of course, an absolute amazing ship. Just look at this atrium, look at the starboard. It really is the most elegant ship. I had the absolute pleasure and privilege, of course, to escort Her Majesty around Britannia with Prince Philip for 2.5 hours when she visited the ship. I'll give you a little insight. Her Majesty said she was most impressed with the ship, so it comes with royal approval, I can assure you. Certainly. I'd love to tell you more what she said, but it is royal protocol, so it's just between myself and Her Majesty. But certainly was a most wonderful occasion on Tuesday. I wouldn't say that the bottle broke, it exploded against the side of the ship. It really was a great introduction, of course, to Britannia. Of course, our maiden cruise is a wonderful 2 weeks. Now, it's been a bit grey and bumpy today, hasn't it? Yes, it is March, of course, but looking further afield, we're, of course, heading over. I didn't quite literally have to write this down. We're heading over to Gibraltar, of course, and what better could be to arrive in Gibraltar with a 97-metre long Union flag on the bow. I hope they can't see it across on the Spanish side, but... we'll have the fishing boats out again, you never know. Anyway, Gibraltar, and of course then heading over towards Barcelona and then on to Monte Carlo. And conditions are looking very good for the Mediterranean. Cool, relatively cool temperature, 16 degrees, about 60 degrees Fahrenheit, but mostly broken sunshine, and further on in the cruise some better sunshine as well. Of course, after Monte Carlo, we're heading over to Civitavecchia, and of course the delights of Rome or the Tuscany countryside, and then over to Ajaccio in Corsica, before finally heading back to 2 Spanish destinations of Cartagena and Cadiz. Now, I am aware that this maiden cruise sold out in a record time. Something like within 4 hours the bulk of the cabins were gone. But according to our records, we do have 200 newcomers on board Britannia. Is anybody brave enough to put their hand up to it, say that they're a newcomer? Excellent, well welcome. Indeed, welcome to all of you. Great to have you with us, great that you're trying out P&O cruises. Of course, that leaves 3,300 regulars. Where are the regulars? Never fail to be known, and I'm sure the newcomers have had lots of good advice and tips from our regular passengers, I am absolutely sure. Now look, Britannia is just the most amazing ship. It's elegant and it's contemporary. It costs £473 million. So that's a heck of a no-claims bonus that we've got to protect. And of course we have all the traditions of P&O cruises, not least of course these wonderful formal black tie occasions. Of course we also have brought back the crow's nest as well, the crow's nest. And the dedicated cinema, the TV studio, yes indeed. But of course we also have the innovation. So we have the Limelight Club down on Deck 5 with a great entertainment and dining option. And of course we have our Cookery Club, and James Martin will be joining us during the cruise as well. And of course the Market Cafe with Master Patissier Eric Landlard, and also Eric will be joining us during the cruise. So lots for you to explore and enjoy during your time with us. Now, on board Britannia this evening, there's 1,353 crew members, and we're all here to give you one thing, and that is the best ever holiday you've ever taken. I would love to introduce them all to you this evening, but I don't quite have enough time or indeed space on this balcony. But of course, don't forget we have our cruise programme, so it's always great to be able to recognise a great service when it's delivered. So please, during your time on board, if perhaps you could take the opportunity to fill out one of these cruise nomination forms for our ship's company. But what I'd like to do is to introduce you to the senior managers of Britannia. So I'm going to start first with the gentleman who's going to come to my right-hand side, because that's where he belongs, and that is the Deputy Captain, Captain Martin Allen. Actually, Martin, if you're here, and I'm here, who's driving the boat? The waiters. They've been before, haven't they? Yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. Next in the lineup, of course, the gentleman responsible for the entire technical department, that is our Chief Engineer, Sinclair Ross. CP. And Sinclair has two deputies looking after the machinery spaces. Our Staff Chief Engineer, Slavy Jasovic. Slavy. There we go. And responsible for the electrics and the electronics on board, which is about 90% of the ship, I have to tell you, is our Staff Electro-Technical Officer, Adrian Archer. Keeping us clean and green is our Environmental Compliance Officer, Mr. Peter Bunny. Peter. And finally on this side we have the lady that helps us all out. Of course, with such a large workforce, it's always great to be able to recognise and develop talent. So we have our own on-board HR manager, and that is Jackie Gillespie. Jackie. Of course, on the left-hand side, the biggest department on board, that is the hotel team, and that is headed up by our hotel general manager as he makes his way through the crowd, and that is Sharma Daljit. Please back Sharma Daljit. And next up in the lineup, I can't see them, but it's our hotel operations retail manager, Andrew Watt. Next up is the gentleman responsible for all of housekeeping and the girls and boys that do such a great job in the cabins. That is our housekeeping manager, Robert D'Souza. Next up is a very important gentleman indeed, the man responsible for all of the food and beverage on board the ship, your F&B manager, Peter Toms. Now, we talk about food heroes and we talk about celebrity chefs. For me, the next gentleman is the real celebrity chef on board the ship, because he is responsible for the production of over 16,000 meals on board Britannia every day. And I can assure you by the end of the cruise, it's going to feel like you've had most of them. It's our executive chef, Sahu Rajakasoor. And of course, the gentleman finally responsible for all of the entertainment on board, your entertainment manager, Mr. Neil Oliver. Of course, we have wonderful production shows. We know how popular production shows are going to be, so don't forget we have 3 performances of all the production shows. And if you want to be virtually assured of a seat, I would certainly recommend that you consider going along to the 7 o'clock performance. The 7 o'clock performance, perhaps just before or after Freedom Dining, and there you are more assured of a seat for the amazing shows with a wonderful LED screen. Ladies and gentlemen, the cruise, the main cruise is what you make of it. Sit back, relax, and thoroughly enjoy your time with us. Finally, tonight is the Captain's Gala dinner. And Sahu has had a hell of a day cooking it for you all. So thoroughly enjoy your cruise and enjoy your dinner. Thank you very much. Thank you.